I'll tell you, your day just never seems to end, does it, people? And people who don't have children just can't understand. How much is that like thing that human beings do? Like they're always putting it like, well, unless you do what I do, you don't understand, whatever the emotion you're feeling. You don't know what laughter is until you've done X, Y, and Z. You don't know what crying is until you're getting your waxed and the power goes out. It's like, no, everybody knows it. Everybody just knows different degrees of it. If you're new to the podcast, this is the level of intellect on this thing. Different degrees of it. Like I remember one time, I did like my millionth school in the state of Kansas. And I was trying to explain it to this guy. And the guy was like, Bill, now don't tell me about Kansas. And I was like, all right. And I found out he spent a weekend up there with an ex-girlfriend. And then all of a sudden he just knew everything and I had to shut up. And meanwhile, I had probably stood in about 40 different cafeterias in front of these college kids in the late 90s and 2000s who had no idea that there was going to be a show, eating my pills and then driving, I don't know how many. What did I know? This guy spent, now, Bill, don't tell me about Kansas now. Don't even try to tell me about that state. I was there for 3 days. That's all I need. I got a bunch of East Coast friends that came out here for a weekend and told me Hollywood is so phony and plastic. It's like, oh, wow, you really got around. How many people did you even talk to? What happened? You came out here and they didn't have a D'Angelo's and you freaked out and saw some chick with big tits walking down the street and you're like, it's just what I thought. It was just like how I already had my mind made up that it was going to be. Those are fun people to walk to be around, And then they bitch all about it. And then at first it bothers you. At first, I mean, for 2 decades it bothered me. And then I suddenly realized, like, well, what's great about that is that person's not going to live out here. So it's kind of good. You disagree with them. Like, oh, yeah, this place sucks. That's why I live here. Yeah, everybody's fake. Everybody lies to you. Yeah, not like where you're from. Everybody just tells the truth, don't they? When they give you an estimate for how much it's going to cost you to redo that bathroom, I mean, it is right down to the nickel. It's exactly what they said it was going to be. All these Hollywood phony people, if only Hollywood people could be as honest as somebody who redoes houses. What do you call them? If only the people in show business could have the integrity of the people on Wall Street, of car salesmen, of every other that's why I like meeting like a truly honest I'm not saying there's not like, lying motherfuckers in this business. I mean, yeah, obviously every business there is that. That's why it's so nice to actually meet somebody that's like, yeah, this is what's going to be and I don't want to overcharge you and it's going to be done on time. And you're like, are you real? Am I dreaming this right now? I don't know. Maybe that's why people steal after a while. Because when they're actually being nice people just keep going like, I can't believe you're not f***ing me even harder. And then they start thinking, oh, should I have been? And then they start doing it. Right? Maybe that's what happens. I don't know. I don't know what happens. I can tell you this. I've had a few good things happen this week. I've had a couple of annoying things happen this week, but I've remained even-keeled. We had some friends of mine over, and they brought their kids, something we've been trying to do since before COVID, and they came over. And right before they came over, they were picking up coffee. So I said, get me a triple espresso. I know. This is my new booze. So now I got to take a week off from coffee because it has a little bit of a hold on me. Okay? But when I quit it, I don't get the headache. So I'm not totally up, but like, I don't know. That whole thing, like, I was tired and now I'm not tired. And now there's all of these studies that shows that it doesn't wake you up. It actually just blocks the signal that you're tired. I mean, did they really need to do a study on that? I don't know how something makes you untired. If you're tired, you're tired. That's like becoming undead. The only thing that makes you untired is sleep. But the problem is there's two groups of people that don't give a about your level of sleep. your boss and your kids. That's it. They just keep slave driving you down the street. And that's why I want somebody from Mexico right now to chime in. And I want to know if the urban myth of the siesta every day or whatever, is that true? Do you guys actually take naps in the afternoon? Or some other country like Spain? You always hear like those little towns along the Mediterranean. And in the summertime, everything just closes around noon and doesn't open back up again until like 3 in the afternoon. And everybody goes home and just takes a nap. I don't know if it was Mexico. I don't know if it's Spain. I don't know if it was Albuquerque. I don't know where I heard it. It sounded weird to me when I was younger, but now that I'm old, I'm like, that sounds amazing. Imagine getting to work at like 8:30 and just knowing you got a nap coming at noon, like a 3-hour nap. Just as a country, wouldn't you be willing to drop in the rankings like the Alabama Crimson Tide? That's such a douche. To just drop in the rankings. Why do we need to keep saying that we're the number one country? We know we're not. I'm not saying you don't love the place. I'm not saying it's not one of the most beautiful countries out there. It absolutely is to look at it. But we don't make anything here anymore. We keep printing all this money. Inflation's going through the roof. And we blame ties. He's got a blue tie. He has a red tie. Those people are evil. You know what we make here? We make weed and a lot of noise. No, what else do we got to make something else. I know we make weed and we make Shinola. I bought a watch from them. They make everything from bicycles to watches. I don't know. They have a hotel in Detroit, right? Wouldn't it be great if they actually made cars here again? Wouldn't it be great if somehow unions and the people that run corporations could actually stop being selfish and find a middle ground and bring some jobs back here and just make an American car here? Wouldn't that be fantastic? And what if the union guy took all his benefits and then didn't lean on a shovel? And what if the corporate guy didn't try to f the union guy so he'd go to Epstein Island? Everybody's got their little things that they're doing wrong. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Going back to those times with everybody in town, you didn't even have to finish high school. All you had to do is just walk out of your high school. If you could go to some place and buy a lunchbox, you had a job, right? Little hard hat. You put your local football team's logo on it or whatever. You go to work, you laugh, you have a great time, you drink Boilermakers, you ignore your family. You drop of a heart attack in your 50s. Like, what was wrong with that America? Now look at us. We don't make anything here, and all we do is go on social media and Photoshop our lives, right? We don't all do it, but a lot of people do it. Not me, man, because I'm so real. No, I don't Photoshop my life. There's nothing to Photoshop, If I was going to Photoshop my life, I would have first got hair plugs. You don't post enough on social media. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, the world does not want to look at a bald ginger every day and what his life is like. Okay, you know what it's like. I'm constantly going to CVS trying to find a higher sunblock as we slip into whatever this next thing is with nature is.